Number 2. Okay, we are talking about how to hang your quilts. And luckily, Carillisa has a lot of good ideas because my suggestion is push pins.
Okay.
Case in point.
Saw a lot of really fun things. Okay, that is not a bad way to hang a quilt.
But
right?
But Mike gets mad because we keep putting holes in the wall.
You know what? The shop had a lot of holes in it, and now the warehouse is getting some holes too.
Mm-hmm.
The one right behind us when we do comments sold, that one's got a few holes in it. It's okay. But we do have a few things to show you if you don't want to just use push pins, but you were going to say something.
Oh, it was just a question. Janet, I'll get back to you in just one sec on that. So,
the quilt behind us?
No.
Okay.
For tomorrow night. Or
Okay.
last night.
Well, Cheryl wants to know about the quilt behind you.
So the quilt behind me was, I think it was a Moda book. I found it over here. It was from this, Go Big for Your Home. We got to see if we can get this back in stock. One year, Chris had all of the employees make a quilt out of this, and we shopped it. We hung it all over the shop. And you can do it with pre-cuts.
This was before my shop day.
Yeah, 5-inch squares or 10-inch squares, and we all just made it. So mine came out of this book, the Go Big, I believe.
It's
A
cute.
Baker's Dozen.
She used good colors too.
Thank you.
I like the use of the solids in there.
Joe Dewberry in there and some art gallery. What's this one? Block 3. So that's where that came from. And it's one of my favorite ones I've made.
Mary says, are you in the warehouse or in the shop?
We're in the warehouse.
We're in the warehouse, but we're upstairs where it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was talking to Lisa earlier, I had to put my phone down and she got to see all up in the, looks a little bit bare, but it looks really nice up here.
Brenda gets out her stapler, so it could be worse than pins, right?
Those are some big
Awesome.
staples. And you know what? Do you want to grab those? I forgot to grab the quilts that have the...
Oh, yeah, I'll go grab
Where
them.
did those end up?
They're just in here.
Okay.
If I can get through.
You can if I move. How's
I had
that?
to push my desk back.
Okay, so couple different things. There's of course lots and lots of ideas, and I love it. Go ahead and keep suggesting what you've got. Heidi said she uses sleeves as well, so I've seen a few of you that have put that on there. Those sleeves are perfect, especially if you're not even sure what you're going to do with them. I think a lot of quilters just put sleeves on the back. Sleeves, if you're not sure what we're meaning, we have a picture, we have a sample of one that we're going to grab right here real quick. I'm a fiddler. But there's a few little fun things that I saw.
Fiddler? No.
Never. Okay, so let's see a one with a sleeve.
Okay.
A lot of people use these sleeves. It's nice because you can put a rod in the back, or you can...
You said Judy's had one on here.
I thought
there
she
it is.
did.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you're sewing your binding on, or actually it looks like she sewed this to her back.
She probably did it right, like planning ahead of schedule. She's taken a little tube of fabric, well, casing.
Casing, yeah.
Yeah, would really be what I would call it. And it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the quilt. So she's come in a little bit, but then the entire top of the quilt has this casing. So you can slide in a sleeve. So you can slide in
dowel.
A dowel. You can. I've seen people use yardsticks or something similar to
Just make
the
sure your
size
hole's
of
big enough.
a yardstick. Yes, exactly. And then you can use that to hang up on with lots of stuff, right? Triangle pocket with a dowel. I really like that idea too. That one's a good one
We
as
should
well.
have probably asked her how she did this.
It
It looks like she hand stitched it. Maybe she did a blind hem.
I think she did do a
Because
blind hem.
there's not a seam here. Normally I just make a thin sleeve.
She just took a long rectangle, folded it in half, bound it in here, and then to keep this flap right here down, it looks like she's either used a blind hem stitch or she hand stitched it.
I think she hand stitched it because
She might have, because she was doing her binding, so she may have just done that down. So, yeah. Tana says she loves the planning ahead on the backing instead of hand sewing. Yes. So, another really cute idea that I saw. Never mind, you show that first.
We showed this quilt of Carmen's last night. And she also has a sleeve.
She did a couple of things which I thought was nice, because you do a couple things and you have more options, right?
It looks like maybe she had her long armor tack this one down.
Sweet.
So she must have had a flap.
So her sleeve goes all the way to the edge of her quilt, but then she's also put in...
Actually, I think she just sewed it right on top of the quilting, but she's got like matchstick quilting in there. You can kind of see it right here.
There you go.
You can see it, but because
and then
her
her
quilting's
quilting
so
hid it.
dense.
So she's got the sleeve, but then she's also taken these little rings. It looks like a little key ring almost.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like she's just hand sewn those, just looped them right on. And she's done one,
And she did that before she sewed this.
8 inches, yeah.
Like a hand width.
Yeah. So you've got all the way across, which is nice
should show
if
the
you
back.
want to do it a different.
But Carillisa is so smart. I'm like, what do you do with this? Like, tie it up with a string? No. You get like command hooks.
I would use command hooks.
And then you're not, if you don't have a dowel, or if she's at a trade show or something,
if you're at a trade show and you've got grid wall or something,
probably.
You can snack that right on.
So that's kind of a cool idea. I'd never
Snack
seen
it.
that before.
Snack it
Snack it on.
Yeah. Another really cute thing, you know those nice old wooden hangers that you use for dress pants? You've probably seen this idea as well. You take and these are like a little bit smaller, but where's your cute little shelf?
Oh.
You've seen the shelves that have cute little
Like this thing?
yeah, like knobs. She's got this little shelf to show. So if you've got several of those knobs, you can just lay those out and hang those on the wall. Another thing I've seen people do is they've done it
This is actually a quilt hanger.
down this way, and you can do like you go to Hobby Lobby or a hardware store, and they have those cute little decorative dresser knobs.
Grab that Nicole's thing right there.
You can hang these on those little knobs. Just make sure you got plenty of you need a sheetrock anchor for that so that it stays. But I thought the wooden you could do it on a dowel all the way across. Somebody suggested that, and then you can hang several of them. But it adds kind of I don't know, what do you think about adding quilts to bedrooms?
Yeah. I have a little one of this. I found this downstairs and the knob fell off, but just pretend it's still on there. And you unscrew them and then you clamp a quilt in there.
Yeah.
So if you can find like a local
This just
handyman,
looks like,
this wouldn't be hard to make.
honestly, this looks like baseboard
Yeah.
from
Or at least casing
casing around the doors.
that they've routed the edges.
And then you put
Just painted and stained it, and then a couple fancy handles.
twist those babies on.
If you have any handymen in your life or women,
I love this idea. I think that's really great.
Jill gave me one of these for Christmas.
Did she?
Just a little one. But
We
I was
have
gonna bring it, I
another
forgot it.
here.
I know. It's not cooperating.
I think I just
No,
busted
it was like that. It just needs to be popped on.
Maybe put some wood glue on there or something.
Just needs a little.
We have one downstairs and it has those little glass doorknobs.
So you could change
And
out
that's
your
really
handles.
pretty too. The handles would be kind of fun. And then what
Did you make
else
this?
have you got? Okay, this is a fun one. This is one that Lorraine did, our quilter, my mother. But what we've done is we've just got
That was a heck of a deal.
I mean, you could do this with
Palette
boards, but it's just these boards, of course, put together. In the back, we've just taken little boards here to connect
you make
them
this?
way. Nope.
You bought it out.
And then
She got a good deal on
paint
this.
it all done, and then you can do lots of different things. I've just used push pins. Now the push pins are
The
in the
stapler
wood,
might be worth.
but that kind of takes something that's little. Now this right here is just the one block, which I'm sure lots of us have little one blocks, but this would be a great thing to do with, I don't know, do you ever have any quilts that you don't finish?
Yeah. Someone's suggesting a door frame. We actually had an old door at the shop that was covering like an indoor window that showed our back hall. So we had covered it with an interior door and put just a hanging rod. That was really cute.
Yeah. And then Carol's saying an old rung ladder looks great standing against the wall. My sister has that at her house. Yeah, it does. I quite like it, actually.
And then we've demoed this a couple times.
Yes, we have. Now this would be something if you had, so
This is my favorite thing to do.
I have a few quilt blocks at home, and I don't think I'll ever get the quilt done because now I've lost some of the blocks.
I just like to go like this.
So if you had some blocks, go ahead, take it away, Jenny.
If you had some smaller blocks or even a smaller quilt, like grab that little picnic table thingy. This should hold it. Famous last words.
Really?
Okay, an unquilted piece of
Go ahead, try that.
I had blocks downstairs, but I left them on the cutting table.
That's right, you brought blocks.
Okay, pretend that we hung that up. Good. I'll fix it.
You know, why worry about those quilt blocks that you're not getting done?
Ta-da!
And, you know, you can even display them while you're still waiting to get to that project. At least they're out, right?
Let's say you sew a quilt or you buy a quilt and you make one block and you're like, oh no, this is not for me.
This is way too hard. You get that
Ta-da!
fancy block up there.
What are these, just like flat dowels you get at Home Depot? I think they'll even cut them for you, and like a strip of magnets.
Yeah, the magnet strip. This is the easiest put together ever, and it's really quite cute.
Gotcha. Yeah,
for sure. Okay, and then there's also things that we
Nicole brought
stole
us this.
from Nicole.
This needs like a cuter thingy on here.
These are these little, kind of the same thing as that shelf, but you can buy these little wooden clamps, so to speak. They unscrew.
Binder clips. Yeah.
They look like binder clips. Yes.
So what's nice is you can screw this.
Put your quilt in here.
Well, first you can attach it to the wall where you want it to go.
Yes.
And then you put your quilt in.
You just take that
Where'd
off and on.
Little
This thing?
picnic thing go? No, this.
Oh, now this would be good for the picnic thing. Pant hangers work for quilt parts. Oh, yeah.
And then you can swap it out. You know what I do at home?
Hmm.
So I have a big bulletin board that I have hung over a piece of furniture, and all of my Kimberbell projects, like the ones that aren't in print anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the snowman hat and the Valentine, well, let me call you Tweet Heart or something. I just changed, they're as big as the bulletin board, and I just push pin those in every
Cute.
holiday.
In the bulletin board. That's a great way to change things out for the holiday.
Without sticking extra holes in your...
Yeah. Janet says that she has curtain rods and you attach with the clip rings. We did that down in our classroom. It's really easy to take them on
And
and
all
off.
over the Sandy shop, I installed all of those, me
Oh.
and Teresa. So.
Lucky lady. Lucky lady.
See, look how good that works.
Yeah.
Then you can just...
Well, yeah, and you can do two on each. You can do two for each quilt or one for each quilt. Another idea that I saw that was really cute. Somebody had taken different, and I wish I had remembered. I have it on my computer, but I forgot to give it to Jenny, so it'd be on her computer. So now I can't even show you the picture. But
Keep talking. I'm looking for something.
okay, they took their quilts in all different sizes, including small little blocks or bigger table runners or whatever, and they didn't necessarily even all coordinate perfectly, but they hung them all up the stairs, going upstairs. And so that entire wall, you know, a lot of times you'll see people who put their pictures up, that whole wall was just different quilts. It was actually really pretty. They weren't all really big quilts, but there were one or two that were big, and then she just put a bunch of little things on there too. Anyway, I thought that looked really pretty as a way to display.
I agree. I'm looking for... I love Corey Yoder. Like, her Instagram is beautiful. But she has a really cute
Instagram.
quilt ladder.
What's Instagram?
Oh, shush. You're hilarious.
I forget to get on Instagram like it's an option. It really is a nice option, but I forget.
You don't get on Instagram?
Not very often, huh?
That's where I get my best ideas. Chris is giving her a look like she's crazy.
Are you nuts?
Where do you get your quilt inspiration?
Right up here, baby.
No.
Right up here.
Nobody has that many ideas naturally.
What are you saying, Jenny?
I don't know.
What you looking for?
Her living room.
Oh, there you go. Well, why don't you hand me that thing sitting over there while you scroll?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Another thing, of course, you can just frame it. Frame that one block. And you could get the same frames if you don't want to put your quilt all together. You could just do each of the different blocks and hang them in frames and put them on your wall. Really easy, 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 easy. You can get them different frames. You can get them all the same. I think it would be a more modern look if you went with all the same ones, but if you wanted a more eclectic or
I was looking for a quilt
old-fashioned
picture.
Old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned.
Yeah, we talked about that quilt ladder. It's quite cute.
I thought it was going to be really easy to
you
find
should
on
just
here.
type in search quilt ladder.
You're right.
I don't need Instagram.
She doesn't. Okay, this one will work.
Okay, that one's really cute too.
I need to get one of these. We're actually gonna, as soon as we get the customer service area finished downstairs, we are going to
Put up quilt ladders?
because this one's cute. We have a lot of samples.
Yes,
that
we
get
do.
made
Yes, we do.
for all of these sales, and so our couch downstairs is like covered. Okay, let's see if I can pull these over.
Which was really quite helpful, actually. Mary says she gets all of her ideas from us.
Oh, well, I get them from Instagram.
Debbie, when you said, is it a brand name, are you referring to these little clips right here? Because I don't see a brand name.
You'd have to ask Nicole. Go Home
Okay.
Collections.
They're calling them carpet hangers.
Carpet hangers?
So they're not even really made for quilts. They're made to hang up carpets. So do a little search.
Is it like for rugs, maybe? Like
yeah.
tapestries?
Yeah, that would make sense. Carpet hangers. This is a set of 3. It looks like it's from Go Home Collection. So if that does you guys if it helps at all. Should have seen that written right there.
Okay, so that is a quilt ladder.
Great way to change out your quilts for the holidays.
I need someone to make me a few.
Of those ladders, I've got my husband on the task of that.
There's
Do you think
a white one.
once we finally, and they've doubled those up. That looks really nice
Yeah,
too.
it's really cute.
The way they've done that.
What we use at Comment Sold is a step ladder, and
We just lay them over the step ladder, right?
yeah.
Pamela says you can, if you have too many quilts, samples, you can send them my way.
We need to have a sample.
Nola has made several ladders. Great. Bring them on over.
I have not.
No, the hang it, dang it rod, but thanks.
Hang it, dang it, Rod. Your husband's made those. That's awesome.
Yeah, those quilt ladders are fun. Another thing too, I have a girlfriend who collects antique quilts, and she has a great big old antique hutch in her living room. It's her living room, and she's just taken and stacked all of those up, and they're behind glass doors. It's really pretty.
Speaking of your frames, my husband's mother, when her mother died, they had like an old antique quilt, and it was, what's the word? Disintegrating.
Oh,
and so they I don't know if they unpicked it or they just cut it into different blocks, and then they framed those blocks like in a shadow box.
You know what?
That's kind of a good way to.
That's a great way to
honor
save
and
them.
share an heirloom quilt. Like you can't use it anymore, so you still get to see it. But
yeah, but you're not going to deteriorate any more than that. You can find ladders on Etsy. It's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
To do that.
You know, another thing that my aunt did with my great grandma's quilts. She actually found fabric that matched, and the few pieces that were kind of tearing away, she just did an applique. She did a turned
That's a good
under
idea.
and just appliqued a new piece over the
Needle
top.
turn applique.
That's it right there. Yep. Spring rods work really good. Yes, and then you can throw them through that pocket. This just tells me, I'll tell you, I just need to get out there and put up the stuff even though I haven't fit. Like I have a few quilts that I just didn't get the border on or whatever, but it'd look a bit better up than not at all, right? So